Hey everybody, today on Northern Revolutions, I'm going to show you some of my interesting record finds for the month of September. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. Today's my monthly installment of my recent record finds or pickups. I'm going to show you some of the things that I found in the month of September. Before I do though, I'd like to mention that I'm going to dedicate this video to Mike over at MGK Boston. Who knew he was such a big Jays fan? So I dressed up for him today. Anyway, so let's get into it. On the subject of baseball, this isn't a recent pickup by any means, but I thought I would show it since we're on the topic. And since it's, almost playoff season and my Jays have clinched a wild card spot, I dug this out. This was the very first record I ever owned. It came out in 1983 when I was 5. This is a 45. It's called OK Blue Jays. This is the theme song of the Toronto Blue Jays, still to this day, has been for almost the entire 45-year history of the team. Just a bunch of nobodies that did a theme song. Anyway, I just thought I'd show this, the first record that I ever owned. Go Jays. Okay, I got a couple Beatles records here. The first one I'm going to show is something I meant to pick up for quite a while. Beatles 1. Now, I have the original pressing from 2002 or 3 or whenever it came out. This is the remaster from 2015. This is the new stereo versions. Was excited to finally pick this up. However, bought this off someone on Facebook Marketplace. It's in fantastic, like mint condition. So I drove and met them and picked it up and bought it. Got it home and played it. And the first disc has such a warp in it that Love Me Do doesn't play. So I contacted them and told them this. They gave me a full refund. I offered to return the record. They said, don't bother because it's worthless, which it is. So anyway, I'm disappointed. This was really the only current Beatles album that I didn't have, and so I still got to find myself a copy. I have a few Beatles grails. I've owned my Butcher cover for almost a decade. I'm on the lookout for a first pressing of Revolver from the UK with the rejected Tomorrow Never Knows mix. I am looking for Beatles versus the Four Seasons on VJ. And another one that I was looking for was the first pressing UK of the Beatles, Abbey Road. The first pressings are what they call misaligned Apple pressings. As you can see here, the Apple is not in line with the track listing. So I've been working on my UK first pressings for a while. Almost there. I need like 2 or 3 more. So I was glad to pick this up. Has been on my grail list for a long time. So I finally got my first pressing misaligned Apple, Abbey Road. The last Beatles record I picked up, just to cross one off the list. There's a number of Beatles records that are out on VJ in the United States. I have almost all of them. This is an interview disc. Probably not going to listen to it, but it's still one of the Beatles VJ releases. I will do a video on the Beatles VJ albums at some point, but I needed this one. Now I just need Beatles versus the Four Seasons. Good luck. It's incredibly scarce. Moving on to some non-Beatles stuff. One of my favorite record stores is in Dundas, Ontario, which is hour west of Toronto, hour and change northwest of Buffalo. It's a place called Records on Wheels. And I picked this up. This is a Fleetwood Mac. I guess it's a bootleg, unauthorized release, I guess. This is the University of Connecticut, the 25th of October, 1975. This is the King Biscuit Flower Hour radio broadcast. This is great. This is really good. Great quality audio. This is from, obviously, 1975, so this is after the first Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks album, but before Rumors. So it's got a lot of the tracks from that album, and also some earlier stuff from the pre-Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. You can see the track listing there. I have said in videos before that I love live recording. So this is just a great quality live recording from my favorite era of Fleetwood Mac. This was an interesting pickup, actually. Chuck Berry. Actually didn't have any Chuck Berry on vinyl. Love Chuck Berry. One of the pioneers of rock and roll, obviously. This is an album that came out in '72 called Chuck Berry's Golden Hits. It sounds like a greatest hits. It's not. As I read the liner notes, these were sessions that Chuck did in October and November of 1966 at Technosonic Studios in Clayton, Missouri. That doesn't mean anything to me. At this point, all of the songs that are on here had already been released. They had already been hits. But it's just him re-recording them. Why? I have no idea. So they are slightly reworked. They sound a little different than, you know, the officially released singles. I mean, this is an officially released album, obviously, but they sound different than the singles as they were released. But it sounds very much like a live off the floor kind of recording. According to this, he did everything in no more than 3 takes. But yeah, it just kind of, it sounds almost live. So it's just nice to get different takes of songs like Sweet Little 16, Memphis, Maybelline, Johnny Be Good, and so on. So an interesting Chuck Berry record. I'm going to show this. I have mentioned before that these ladies are a guilty musical pleasure of mine. But another Spice Girl record. What can I say? I have the first album. This is their second album, Spice World. This had Spice Up Your Life and Stop, I think, were the 2 big songs on here. What do I say? I love the Spice Girls. Whatever. The next one is undoubtedly, I think, the most interesting record I picked up this month. This is an album called 3x4. It's out on Yep Rock Records. What this is 4 bands on here. So this is the Bangles, the 3 O'Clock, the Dream Syndicate, and Rain Parade. That's the Paisley Underground scene from the, I believe San Francisco in the early 80s, I guess, as I understand. I bought this because I'm a Bangles fan. Do I know the other 3 bands? No, I don't. But it's my understanding that they all sort of played together in the bar scene in San Francisco in the early 80s. And see, the Bangles made it to international stardom. Why this is called 3x4 is it's the 4 bands from the Paisley Underground scene doing 3 songs by each of the other bands. So you have side B, side R, and side T and D. I guess they're named after the bands. So the first side is 3 Bangles songs performed by the other 3 bands that aren't the Bangles. Then the second side, side R, is 3 songs by the Rain Parade performed by the 3 bands that are not the Rain Parade, and so on. Really interesting idea for an album. I really enjoy it. Obviously, I love the Bangles, but it's great to hear the other 3 bands take on the Bangles songs, which are Getting Out of Hand, Real World, and Hero Takes a Fall. And it's also nice to hear the Bangles takes on the other band's songs that I didn't know because I'm not familiar with these other bands. But it sort of has a cohesive sound throughout, and it's an enjoyable record. I'm glad I bought it. This is I think it was a Record Store Day release on colored vinyl. There's a black vinyl version as well, but this is the colored version. And the last record that I want to show, best for last, by far. I mentioned this I did a contest entry for Roberts on my turntable, bands you need to listen to, and I talked about this guy, Adam Baldwin. I love him. One of my absolute favorite bands. He is a singer-songwriter and rock musician from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is his album that just came out last week. It's called Concertos and Serenades. It is a bit of a departure from his rock and roll stuff that's very Springsteen-esque. This is a folk record. It's an electric folk record. It's about life in Nova Scotia. It's fantastic. I can't say enough about it. I called it a gritty tapestry. He paints some sonic pictures. This is Adam being an incredible storyteller. This is an absolutely amazing piece of Americana, except that it's Canadiana, I guess. It's that Americana sound, I guess, but it's Canadian. It's Canadiana. There's nothing American about this. It's wonderful. I pre-ordered this and Adam signed it for me. So a fantastic record. Check it out on. He's got a Bandcamp page. You can hear it. If you like sort of the what's a good analogy? I mean, Neil Young springs to mind. Maybe John Prine, maybe Chris Christopherson, Ian Tyson. It's that kind of thing. It's a very they're stories. I don't think of them as songs. They're stories, but they're brilliant. So Adam Baldwin. That's it for me today, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Hey, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.